is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the episode 13 of the Busy Brothers podcast, where we help you find balance in the busy. I don't know. What were you going to say?
I was just going to echo what you were going to say.
Oh,
say it.
Well,
so
you can't echo what I don't say.
Exactly.
So it's like what came before the horse or the cart. Oh, got to turn that. Got to time ourselves so we can overtime every time. Today is episode number 3, y'all.
13.
We're mastering. I said episode 13, but number 3 of this series.
You didn't say this series.
So sorry. Number 3 of this series,
there
episode 13 in the podcast entirety, where we're mastering time and energy. And criticals to Dan Martell for giving us the meat and the bones here from his Buy Back Your Time book and podcast. And we are just reworking it because literally when it comes to life, there is no cookie cutter. You need to learn, and apply what is applicable for you.
And I think just a quick highlight, don't just learn for the sake of learning.
Yeah.
Apply what you're learning.
100%.
In anything that you do, not just in even in this podcast, listen to it for the entertainment, listen to it for the instruction. But if you go home and do nothing with it, it's no good.
Yeah, it's not going to do anything. It's like having seeds in your seed packet. They'll never turn into fruit. They'll never turn into vegetables. They'll never turn into dinner unless you plant it in the ground. We got to do the work. We got to till the soil. And that's what we need to do in between episodes. Let's take what we've learned. That's what we need to do in between prayers. Take what we've learned, take what we've heard, and apply it in there.
What we do in between episodes is we get coffee, use the bathroom,
grab some water.
Yeah, that's what we do in between episodes.
Eat a protein bar.
Protein. I had a lot of protein this breakfast, so I'm waiting for lunch.
Now you're on protein overdose, tired.
Yeah.
Ready to take it.
No,
out.
I just, again. It's a season. It's a season
That's
of
right. You had a rough night last night.
Every night's a rough
blessing
night.
of the Lord.
Children are a blessing and a heritage.
Blessed is the man.
Whose quiver is full, and mine is full. Yeah. I don't care what the Bible says that 5 is full. I don't care. 4 is full for me. Full is a subjective term.
If you want to recap, last week we talked about energy time management, where we teach on how in order to manage your time, you need to manage your energy. You need to scan. You need to plan your time around your energies by scheduling your energies, batching your work, no extra time rule, and you are allowed to adjust. So go back and check that out. That's our last episode, episode 12 in the queue below. Again, we're talking about mastering time and energy, and today we're going to be talking about managing your week effectively. This is the practical side, but this is probably the least of all of what we talked about, what I'm actually doing right now. We are in the process of effectively creating a week. And so a lot of what we say, we could do a podcast again in a year, and we probably have way more hot topic things that we've learned from this. We know what to do a lot of times. We don't know how, or we have not. Yeah. What's the word? Created excellence around it yet.
Well, and again, the progress over perfection every time. Yeah. So and this goes for anything in life, if you're speaking into an area, you only have to be one step further than the people you're teaching. Yeah. So it's not like we definitely are not teaching from a point where our weeks are, you can look at our weeks and they're perfectly outlined. Yeah. But we are one step further than some people listening. And some people may be 100 steps further than us, and they should be doing a podcast, but they don't. So we're taking.
It's true, actually.
Wasn't trying to be rude there, but I'm just saying we're taking the time to at least share what we know and share what we are doing, because in reality we are probably doing more than so many other people. Yeah, and it's not that we're better,
and probably doing more than what we think.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's not that we're better. We're just taking more focused time on this. Yeah. And considering it more valuable than other things. So 100%. Again, we're learning, we're growing, we're not perfect, but we're going to continue to progress until Jesus comes home. Yep.
So I like to look at our weeks. I actually just did a small little message with our staff at the church yesterday about managing a week effectively, even though I'm not the best at it. The last episode I shared how I have my days batched. Mm-hmm. Monday is administrational with all of our meetings with the different staff members. Tuesday is creative, where I'm writing either a book, I'm writing sermon notes or studying, and then Wednesday is administrational. Thursday is, again, another creative day.
Yeah.
That's how I batch my days. Now, what I do within each one of those days is dependent upon what needs to get done and what the priorities are. Now, again, we need to take inventory. We have to evaluate what is a priority, what is not a priority, what needs to be deferred. But how we plan our week first needs to start of where we're going. All right. And so if I'm caught up on sermons, but I'm behind on writing the book that I'm trying to write, there needs to be a little bit more time planned for writing that book. And there needs to be deadlines. There needs to be application for that and consequences if you don't make it.
Yeah.
But effectively managing your week back to back each and every week, especially if you're in a creative position or in a role of managing a business or a podcast, there are so many different plates that you're juggling that if you don't manage your week effectively, you're going to drop a plate, which is going to lead to dropping the next plate, which is going to lead to dropping the next plate, where you missed that email, then you missed that phone call, then you lost that client, and then you start losing momentum, you start beating yourself up, and then you've got to reshuffle everything just to feel like you're getting back on track. And so this is a pattern that needs to happen very frequent in managing where you're going, and make sure you're realigning yourself with the visions and the goals that you've set to accomplish that year. And so managing your week effectively, I believe, needs to start with I call a pond. I see your week, how you execute is the stream, but a stream is something that comes from a source, a pond. Like we've had a stream that comes through our parents' property. It flows into a pond and then goes from a stream into another pond or swamp, wherever the water goes.
Yeah.
But the pond is the collection of the stream of water. As you're executing your weekly projects, you're going to be bombarded with continual projects that come in. You take a phone call, you talk with somebody, all of a sudden there's another thing you need to do. You're working deeply on a project over here, all of a sudden you get done with one of your administrational days that same week, and you've got another project that's coming up that you need to start working on. You're constantly getting bombarded with something new that you have to do. It could lead you, if you're schizo leader, or if you're completely popcorn, I'm going to do what's fun, you'll have yourself in a place where you've got 40 different projects going with absolutely none of it completed. Yeah. They're all half done. Or you're sending out work that is 40% subpar. Your team gets frustrated. You get frustrated. Everyone around you gets frustrated. You start losing followers. People start leaving your church. Your business starts to suffer in the top and bottom line. And we wonder why it's happening. It's because we are spreading ourselves too thin and not managing our tasks in a proper way. And so one of the ways that I like to look at it as a pond and a stream. The stream is when I'm executing what's coming from the pond. Yeah. What I mean by that is when you're working or have a phone call or Sunday morning happens and people talk to you, they have ideas, they think that this needs to happen or that needs to happen, or they give you whatever. Like if there's a task that even I remember to do while I'm in prayer, I take that task, that idea, and I write it down in a pond. It's a collective group where you can write down ideas, you can write down lists of tasks to do, and I like to separate these ponds based on ideas and themes and focuses. I have one for business. Like if I get an idea that I want to do for the gym to create more content, or have an idea or something that I need to get on ChatGPT and create another email marketing idea, I put that in my pond. Like if I get that thought 10 o'clock in the morning when I'm knee deep in trying to figure out sermons, I'm not going to stop what I'm doing on sermons to write a ChatGPT, have ChatGPT make me an email that I'm going to send out. I'm going to send that email out at 10 o'clock that night or 8 o'clock that night. Yeah. But I take that idea, I get in the moment, and I put it in the pond. I have a spot in my notes in my phone where it says to do business, and I write down the idea and I give a synopsis of what that idea is. Make sure you put detail, because if you're in the middle of that creative process and the idea comes in, you might lose all of what you say if you just put a search tiny little idea in this pond. You might get back to it 8 o'clock that night and you're like, crap, what did I mean by send email? Was this a Was this a send an email to the guy that emailed me yesterday? Is it send an email to market? Is this
you spend 3 hours on your email scrolling like, where's this?
What is this? So if you get the idea, put detail in that.
Yeah.
But it's in the pond. Now that you're focusing in on trying to work for the church or whatever it is you're focusing on, you get the idea. Or if you're in prayer, most of the time these ideas come when I'm praying.
Yeah.
It's not the devil trying to distract me. It's God planting creative ideas in me, trying to get me more productive. But I could sometimes, if I am not careful, my prayer time when I'm in that creative flow, because I'm tapped into that power of the Holy Spirit that knows all things that we talked about 2 episodes ago, and he gives me the ideas, I need to write them down in a pond to get back to seeking first the kingdom like we talked in episode 1.
Yeah.
I'm talking a lot in this one because I'm so passionate about it.
I know you, and I'm letting you cook. You're good. You keep going.
And the pond is there so that I can stay focused on what I'm doing and make sure that I don't get distracted because I got another good idea. Just because it's a good idea doesn't mean it's a God idea.
Yeah.
Just because it's a good idea doesn't mean it's the time for that good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good idea for Jesus to go to the cross, but he wasn't going to do it when Adam and Eve were walking.
Yeah.
So it was a great idea, but there needed to be a certain time for that. Due time, the Bible says. And so these ponds are there so that way we don't lose track of where we are. Because most of the time when you're driving in a car, like you'll get an idea while you're driving. You'll get an idea. I'm in the middle of a meeting with somebody. They'll tell me something, and I'm like, I'm listening to you, but if I don't write this down, I am going to completely lose it. What you just said reminded me of something. Yeah. I did that right in the meeting yesterday. They said something. I had an email I needed to send to somebody in the gym that was urgent because I was supposed to meet with them. My calendar got changed, and I said, give me 2 seconds. And I said, hey, blah, 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 her name. She's going to listen to me. I won't say it. I said, set a reminder for noon today that I need to write in the note that I need to email this person back. And guess what? I emailed the person back right when I needed to.
Yeah.
Not in the middle of a meeting because that would have been rude.
Yeah.
But I had to write it down because there was a pond. You can use reminders. You can use notes. You can use Todoist. But separate your tasks, your ponds, based on focuses. I have one for our home. I have one for the businesses. And I have one for the church. Mm-hmm. And if I get an idea for the church, it goes in this pond. If I get an idea for this. So when I'm in those places of operating and doing, I can sit down at 8 o'clock at night for that second wind we talked about last week, and I know exactly what I need to do. And I've got a list. I'm a to-do list kind of guy. I love checklists. I love checking off checklists. Like, this is my house to do. And even in my house to do, it's separated via the garden, physical house things I need to do, our pigs that we just got. This is my checklist for the pigs, checklist for the property that we just bought in Middletown Springs. Here's more to-do lists. Like for the gym, here's a to-do list. They're all separated. I've got other ones in here, if my iCloud will work, where it's night things to do for the gym, grease the machines, get more mirrors. I can do shopping for more mirrors. I can hang those more, and I break them all down. Equipment, what do I need to do? All of it's in my pond. So when I'm in the time to work on those things, I can go to the pond because many times you're like, tonight, I'm going to work on the church. I'm going to work on the gym. I'm going to work on the business. I'm going to work on the tents. Mm-hmm. You get to tonight, and if there is no pond to remind you what you need to do, you sit and you scroll on Facebook, and you find yourself for an hour. Crap, I didn't do what I was supposed to do because I can't remember what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
So create a pond. Managing your week effectively starts with creating a reservoir of things to do that you can at least one time a week go into and prioritize your week to accomplishing and emptying that pond a little more. Every week you're going to be emptying the pond. And every week you're going to be adding to the pond. But if you don't have the pond, eventually you will dry up and there will be no movement and you'll give up. You'll be overwhelmed. You'll drop all your plates and you'll forget what you're doing. You have a million things you need to do and you don't get them all done. Mm-hmm. Or if you don't write them down and check them off a checklist, that's another important thing. You can get through a very busy day and go home feeling not accomplished. I was so busy, but what did I do? Mm-hmm. I felt like I got something done, but I don't know what I did. If you have that checklist, that pond where you're recording what you're doing and checking it off as you go, you can go back in the day and be like, yeah, I wrote 2 chapters in my book today. Yeah. I wrote 2 sermons today. Yeah. I made 3 phone calls that I had been putting off and I needed to get done. Yeah. I scheduled a post. Yeah. I posted a podcast. Yeah. Whatever. Mm-hmm. Make a pond. That's how you start an effective week. You can't schedule the week unless you know what you need to do and how to focus that towards your vision.
La-ti-da.
Yep. It starts there.
It starts there. And again, every pond is different. Some are bigger, some are smaller, some have more streams, some have less streams, some have supporting streams, some have no stream. And it's more so finding the pond and the stream that works for you. Meaning in some people's lifestyle, they may have somebody who can help them with their pond. And in a role of a spouse or a role of a business partner or a great friend who will help you do the tasks that you have in your pond. And that's where having community helps your week, but you also have to plan your week so that those people can come alongside you. Yeah. The biggest part about a pond, and especially the things that you need help with, is don't ask the day of. Yeah. You're going to burn out every resource you have. If all of a sudden it comes to Wednesday and you knew Monday that you needed help on Wednesday, and I'm horrible at this, so I'm not preaching to the choir. I am the choir. Is you know on Monday that you need help on Wednesday, but you wait till Wednesday to ask for help on Wednesday. Yeah. And that just builds distrust in the people around you, in your business, in your family, in your organization, is you only ask for help whenever it becomes a dire need. Yeah. So if you don't have this time of planning and managing your week by taking those tasks and putting timelines and putting people in place and putting things in place, you're going to be constantly always burning out your people because you're not giving them an effective time to answer the call to help them rise to that next level. Yeah. And it's hard. And that's very hard whenever you have somebody who will only ask for help at the last minute and you feel like you have to because they're such a good person, but it's always like, why does it have to be every last minute? Why can't it be planned out a little further in advance? Again, I am the choir. I need to preach this to myself. So
again, this saying I'm about to give you comes from Jim Rohn. If you want anything to do with growing yourself, just listen to every Jim Rohn. Is it Rohn? Rohn or Rome? Rome. Like podcast, definitely toward the end of his life when he was more off the cuff. Yeah. Absolutely the best of him was at the end of his life. He said the best way for you to start your day is when it's finished.
Break that down.
The best way to start your week is when it's finished. I'll give it to you this way and see if you can figure it out.
Yeah, because it's not clicking.
When do we normally start building a building when we are in construction?
When do we?
Yeah. No, when the building process started was after what?
The planning. Is that what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Okay. You can give me a little bit of like help.
There is a group of people that made the building
before
the building was made.
And those people who made the building before the building was built usually get paid more than the people building the building. Just so you're clear, we all know where that money is. So
that is true.
But that's because they're planners, they're preparers. They take the time they've dedicated to grow and to know this is what planning looks like. Yeah. And not to degrade blue collar workers, because I was one for 15 years. But a lot of them are, thank God it's Friday, oh God it's Monday. There is no plan or process for their life. Their plan is to arrive at work on Monday, clock out by 2:30, 3 o'clock,
get some Bud Light on the way,
grab 2 road sodas, drive home, get drunk before they even get home, then sit on Facebook or sit on their couch for the rest of the night till they wake up, do it all over again on Monday or Tuesday and Wednesday. And again, not every construction worker is like that, but I was in the construction field for 15 years. Yeah. There's a type and there's a person. Yeah. Just going to say that because I know it.
Vision.
No, it's every day. It's pleasure. All about today
There's
or the
no
weekend.
Future.
Yeah. And again, not to knock the people, but I think I can very fairly say in that business, there's no like, what are you going to be doing in 10 years? What are you going to be doing in 5 years? Yeah. There's like no.
What are you doing Friday?
That's all they're worried about is what they're doing Friday night through Sunday night. Yeah. Rather than what am I doing with my life? And that's because they have no way to be like, what's my goal? Yeah. What's my vision? They don't have a pond where they put stuff in. Yeah. If they have a thing that comes up, they just do it whenever they feel like it. And it's done. And there's no satisfaction because it was just a task that you needed to do. It wasn't building towards a future. Yeah. So if you're in this vein of trying to grow and learn, let me tell you, you are doing something amazing. Yeah. Even if it doesn't feel like it.
Absolutely.
Don't get into comparison where you're comparing with other people, but know that if you're in a state of building something, you are a high likelihood going to grow, going to mature, and going to reach that thing that you're growing towards if you simply keep pushing on. And that's where we take these tasks and we're like, all right, I have to do these things to grow.
Yeah.
I have to do these things to move forward. If I don't get these done, things are going to be held up.
Yeah.
And not on my watch and not on my time.
Going back to what we just said in the beginning, where when it comes to these large projects, commercial projects, you can have multiple different firms, a plumber and a painter and a trim guy, and you can have like
all the way down to like different carpet guy to a different tile guy to a countertop guy to a like cabinet guy to an appliance people. Like you get in these big jobs and there's like specialty upon specialties. It's really crazy.
They can all be on the same job on the same day, accomplishing a unified vision of finishing this building when there's a plan.
Yeah.
That would never be effective or possible if there wasn't a plan. You can do that where you're building as you go in something small. A ma and pa, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe a dozen people counting to one person is like, I don't know what we're going to build, but here's the idea. Yeah. Like you can probably do that on a day-to-day.
Like when we renovated our houses.
Yeah.
We had an idea and a vision and we changed stuff and moved stuff and we didn't have to go through a planning process because it was 1 to 5 people doing a house.
Yeah.
Now, if you wanted to hire that out, you better have. You would have had to
been there all day, every day. When we were in construction, we saw the architect or the engineer maybe there once a week or once a month.
Yeah.
At most, once a month, actually. Not once a week, but once a month.
Yeah, once a month.
So they planned it while it was getting executed. They didn't have to plan it anymore.
Yeah.
They didn't have to be there. They were there to make sure that things are moving in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different level of planning your week, but it's the same kind of concept.
The same principle.
If you want to do big things, if you have it in you to do big things, there needs to be more time in the planning than there is in the executing.
Exactly.
I'm not talking about all the time planning. Like you can't just be planning and never execute. You have to execute.
Yeah.
But the bigger the plan, the bigger the vision, the better the plans need to be.
The more clear.
So that way the plumbers, the evangelists, the children's workers, however you want to break this thing down, the front desk to the restaurant, to the cooks, to the head chefs and the sous chefs and everything else, like those will come together. Yeah. They can all be where they need to be and know what they need to do as long as the plan is clear.
Yeah.
And so the managing your week has not so much to do to make sure that you're getting everything done you need to get done. It's about effectively playing out the vision that God has for you in your life. Like for you, if you're going to continually just stay in that 9 to 5 and never branch out, because if you have something more in you, like you need to take that time to plan. Maybe part of that 8 to 9 is just vision with God. God, where are you? Where do you want me to be? What is this next step? But doing that is managing your week effectively. Yeah. You've got to plan these things in, but create a pond. You've got to have the pond. You've got to put in there a task for the pond. One other thing when it comes to step number 1, which is reviewing your calendar, we need to look at the week ahead and ask what truly needs my attention. You do that by, number 1, having your vision. This is where I want to go. You have your financial vision. You have your corporate vision with your family. You have your personal vision. Go ahead.
I have 4. I have family, or faith, family, fun, and finances.
Okay.
That's my Beautiful. That's my 4.
Beautiful.
You need to have, and you can have more, but for me, it was just the 4 F's of vision. What do I want to do in my faith?
Yeah.
What do I want to do with my family?
Yeah.
What do I want to do for fun?
Yeah.
What do I want to do in my finances?
I like that.
Because if you can cover those 4 areas, you can move things forward.
Oh, I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. And in that, okay, we have the pond. That's my method. I love the pond method. Is getting everything, any idea, get it in a pond. When it comes to now, I want you to talk about your weekly family meeting. Have we talked about the weekly family meeting?
I don't think we have, but it's one thing that so you're writing your book, and my book is based off of this weekly family meeting that it literally just came to me. I have the sticky note to this day. It's on my microwave. Mm-hmm. And all it was like, I felt so distracted by everything. And I don't even remember exactly what it was, but God downloaded to me 6 things that me and my wife should be going over every week. Number 1 is schedule, calendar. Where do we have to be? When do we have to be? How do we have to be there?
Yeah.
And we go through everything from my work calendar to our tent business to T-ball to doctor's appointments. That's all on our calendar. We go through that for the week. The next thing, now that we know what we're doing, we go to the menu, which is what are we going to eat on these days? Because now that we know where we're going to be every night, we can decide what we're going to eat every night. So it's like, okay, Theo has T-ball on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Well, Wednesday we have youth group, so that every week it's youth group. Whatever's happening at youth group, that's where we're eating because that's where we're there every week. But Thursday now, it's like, oh, now that we know how Theo has Thursday T-ball, we're going to do sandwiches at the field. So then we're able to plan and prepare. Okay, we have to be at the field at 5, so that means we got to be making sandwiches at 4:30. And we know that because we've planned our week. And then once you know what you have for meals, that's a lot of stress off of whoever the cooker is and whoever the planner is, because they don't have to think about what they're cooking for dinner. And a cheat sheet to that is take what you're going to cook and build a grocery list based off of that. And then you're not buying everything in excess. You're buying what you need for that week. Then the third thing that we do is we do the love tank. Where is your relationship at? Where is your love for each other at? Where are you at? Like, where do we feel like we are as a couple? Where can we grow? Where are we doing great? And that's just a check-in to make sure you both are on the same page in your marriage. And once you know where you are in your marriage, then you can go to the harder stuff. And then we go through finances. And one thing that really works with finances is you go through every account, every debt, and you just lay it all out. The Bible says, those without vision, what is it? People perish.
Without vision, people perish.
Without vision, people perish, yes. So without knowing where your finances are, you won't know where to go with it. One thing that's very clear that me and my wife did is this September, we're going to be going on a second honeymoon for our 10-year anniversary. Well, a year and a half ago, I looked out and said, well, if we save X amount a month, we'll be able to pay for it.
Love it.
Instead of getting to that date and be like, we'll put it on a credit card, pay it off in the next 12 months, next 14 months, next 18 months. No, planned ahead of time. Now, have we had to sacrifice that fund sometimes for other things? Yes. Have we had to stop that fund every now and again? Yes. But the goal was still, we're going to go on this vacation and we're going to pay for it cash. And that's just a goal that we had, but we had to plan out how are we going to do this. And so we look at every account, from our investments to our savings accounts to our checking accounts. We look at the debts that we have, when they're going out, how they're going out, all that stuff. And that's the more nuts and bolts. And another tip for any marriage or any serious relationship, or even for yourself, don't hide an account from yourself. Don't hide an account from your spouse. That's financial infidelity. So plan that out. Say, okay, I have this, I have that, I have this, I have that. Then we go to the to-do list, which is the pond. And now that we know, see, this is the way we look at it. Now that we have the schedule for the week, the stuff that we have to do, we see the nights where it's like, okay, we have a few hours this night, a few hours that night. Well, we have to do this task. Let's do it this night. So like last night, we had a tent we had to tear down. So we got to the tent and Aaron and Caleb had already tore it pretty much down. We just had to roll it up, throw it in the trailer, which was awesome. So instead of being an hour long, it was 15 minutes long. So we load up the trailer, we go home. I'm like, all right, we have plenty of time. So in my mind, I am changing plans and reestablishing plans. Let Theo bike on his bike for a little while, play with the kids for a little while, loaded them all up, went up to the house, and we're like, all right, we have the next 45 minutes to an hour. Let's finish the chicken tractor. So then we were able to take one of those to-do lists and plug it into a time slot that automatically opened up because we didn't have that work that came in. And the same thing, like we do Amazon Flex now. So if all of a sudden it's like, oh, we have an extra couple hours, let's see what they have available. And if they have something available, sweet, let's make a couple extra dollars, hang out with our family because you can take your family with you. But those don't happen unless they're in a to-do list, unless they're somewhere, like you said, in the pond where we can pull from when we have that time. But if you don't have that time, don't feel so overwhelmed that you have so much to do. Do what you can with the time that you have. But if something is urgent, make the time for it.
Absolutely.
But those free minutes, like we talked about last week with the net, no extra time. If you have an extra hour, half hour, 45 minutes, plan something in there. Like take one of your tasks. Okay, we got to do this. Let's do that. Don't be legalistic in it. If you need rest for an hour, rest for that hour. You're going to be a better person after that rest. So that's where we get the to-do list. And the last thing we would do is we would check in on our goals for the year, in our faith, in our family, in our finances, in our fun. How are we doing? Where are we at? Where are we growing? Where are we behind? Because without having a check-in with a goal, it's just a dream.
Yeah.
Dreams without deadlines goals without deadlines are dreams. Yeah. Plain and simple.
That's a great way to look at it.
If you want to one day do this, that's great. That's a dream. Mm-hmm. But if by 2026 you want to do this, now it's a goal. Because you can measure out, okay, if I want to say, like I did, I want to save for this vacation. It's going to be thousands of dollars because we're dedicating that to our marriage, to our time for the 10 years that we've been together.
Yeah.
I was able to look a year and a half ago and say, we have to save this much a month for this thing to work. And that's what we had to do.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a dream of one day we'll go on vacation. I know a couple that got married, went to an all-inclusive resort just like we did. And they always said, oh, year 10, I'd love to go back. Year 10, I'd love to go back. Year 10, I'd love to go back. And year 10 came and went because they didn't make it a goal.
Yeah.
It was simply a dream.
Yeah.
You have to take the steps to take a dream and make it a goal.
Yeah.
And that happens week by week, month by month, year by year. And really quickly, to get to your goals, what we love to do and what we try to prescribe to other couples, and if you're single, you can even do this, is one weekend a year, 2-3 nights, whatever you can afford, whatever you can do. It could be the cheapest place. It could be something more expensive, whatever you can do. Get away with your spouse or by yourself and say, what does the next year look like? Mm-hmm. Who do we want to be in the next year?
Yeah.
Now, I'll be honest, we haven't been the greatest at that in the last year or two, but our first few years of doing it changed the trajectory of our marriage, changed the trajectory of our businesses, changed the trajectory of who we were. I remember when we set a goal, we wanted to be debt-free in 2019. That was one of our goals. Well, mid-2020 to fall of 2020, we were actually debt-free for a season because it was a goal. And we knew we have to pay off X amount every week. Yeah. Or when extra money comes in, it already has a place it's going. Yeah. Because we've planned that, we've established that. That's what our goal is. And our function was then influenced by our goal rather than just having a dream and never having any function towards that dream. Yeah. So we have to be able to schedule all that out and check in at least once a week is my opinion.
Yeah. I agree. I think a lot of it too is just this check-in. You have the pond, you know what you need to do, doing exactly that, your weekly family meeting. One thing that we just implemented, because we found out after our staff training yesterday that 3 out of 5 of the employees, including me, you, and one other, are not good at creating these 2-hour slots, getting specific tasks done. And so it's either something that we see that needs to be done, we don't create that deadline, or assign the time that I'm going to get this done now. We just think that, we'll feel it, like when I have extra time, I'm going to get it done. Yeah. And we know as soon as we get to extra time, we're like, I'll get it next time I get extra time. And so we just implemented that first thing Monday, like instead of getting into the office at 9, we're going to come in at 8. Yeah. Mondays, first hour we're going to spend if we're going to plan the week. We're not going to start the week at 9. Yeah. Until we finish the week. We're going to assign every hour to a project or a task or a thing or a leadership development or something. It is going to be, so we are going to budget our time just like we would. So it's the same thing. If you know you're going to go to work for 8 hours and you get home at 4 or you get home at 5, you've got to schedule the rest of it. When are you going to get the lawn mowing done? When are you going to, or are you going to hire someone to do the lawn mowing if you make enough money? Or when are you going to do this? How are you going to make sure that you are doing date night with your spouse? It is putting the things in the calendar that are necessary to the thriving towards the goals that we've established. And so managing your week effectively starts with knowing what you need to do, where you're going, and properly allocating time to get them done. Let's put it this way. Let's just say you have a 100-hour project that you're working on, writing a book. creating content, or whatever you're working on, like painting your house. That's going to be a 100-hour project that you're working on. Either you could take a week and slam it, or you could do it 2-3 chunks at a time, 2 or 3 hour chunks at a time. Now, we don't like the 2-3 hour chunks, but I'm going to tell you, those 2-3 hour chunks go a long way. So for me, like writing the book, I've got to schedule the time in for these 2 hours I'm going to write. However far I get, I got to write. But they're, like you said, if a dream without a deadline, or a goal without a deadline, is just a dream. Like, we made the goal that September we're going to have the books done. And we set the first month. We have to write 3.5 chapters each month to get that accomplished, because we know how long the book is going to be. We know the time that we need to be done. And so the process of division, we just figured out, okay, 3.5 chapters a month, that has to be done. That is just under a chapter a week. That has to be written. And so that's fine. If you write a chapter a week, great. Or if you write 3.5 chapters in 1 week and the other 3 weeks you work on something else, that's totally great. Yeah. But the goal is by September to have the books written. And so that is how you can properly plan each and every one of your pieces. Like, for me, deferring. I've had a lot of different things come up between trying to work on our next steps and whatnot. And so I haven't been able to put as much time into the book that I wanted. And so what I did was that I'm going away starting tomorrow. And so the next 2 nights, I have 3 or 4 things that are my high priority. I am not coming home until they're done. So there's no like extra meetings. These are the things I'm getting done. I'm not taking any phone calls, not making any phone calls unless somebody dies. I'm getting these 4 or 5 things done in this time frame because that's my deadline. And so that's how we can manage our week effectively. You've got to take care of priorities, but you have to schedule for the tasks that need to get done with deadlines, as well as enough focused energy in your calendar so that we are not all over the place and whatnot. We've talked about that so many different times. So create the pond. Like you said, do the weekly calendar review. Have the goals. I love that. Like, there's got to be a way we can take this and get that out to people so they can see it as well. I think it'd be a phenomenal asset. And then another thing that you need to do is you need to adjust your calendar. If you find out that, okay, if one day I find out that my Monday, Tuesday intervals of administrational and creative, they don't work, and I need 2 back-to-back creative days, then I'll change. But right now it's working. If our routine at home isn't working, then I'll change. But there has to be that type of review. So adjust it. Break your goals into hours. Like, let's say I'm going to schedule 2 hours to work on the book. Stop at 2 hours. And you'll find out. You will find out that what used to take you 4, if you only give yourself 2, guess what? You're going to get it done in 2.
I forget what law it is, but there's a law.
It's I don't even know what it is off the top of my head, but watch it.
Yeah.
It'll get you, and it'll help you. Because especially if you're working on a 100-hour project and you put yourself 2 hours to that project, it'll focus you to keep focused. Like, the last time I did it where I had 2 hours to work on it, an hour and a half in, I was kind of getting bored. But then when I looked at my watch, I was like, I only have 30 minutes left. Let's punch this out. Next 30 minutes, then I'm done with this project to move on to one that's a little bit more fun.
So, in all of this, be able to be flexible. Grow, be dedicated, but don't be rigid.
Don't be so flexible, though. There's 2 ditches here.
Exactly. Don't be so rigid that nobody can ever interrupt or ever be in your life.
Or you hate everybody that makes you take your headphones out.
But also don't be on your phone every 3 minutes trying to get a creative nudge. It's not how it works.
Or just be like, oh, I feel great. Let's get focused today. And then someone says, hey, you want to go golfing? If that happens every week, then there's a problem. Once in a while, great. That's fine. And so with that being said, like, just a quick recap. We talked about the 4D framework. Do it. Get it done. Delete or defer it. What is the other one? Delegate it, defer it, and then delete it. We talked about energy time management to block yourself out to make sure that your highest needed tasks are done in your highest energy times. And then today we talked about weekly review, how you have to have that pivot point. Just like Sunday is your spiritual pivot point for the rest of the week. Like, if I don't go to church on a Sunday, I feel like I'm lost. What day is it? Like, because that is the day that I know this is where I'm doing, this is where I'm going, and this is who I'm worshiping. It's that pivotal moment. This meeting that you can have with your spouse, with a mentor, or even with just yourself is pivotal to plan your week out. And again, we're getting better at it. Not the best. I have my days planned out.
Again, but
I don't have my calendar inputted to every hour.
We're progressing. We're not perfect.
Absolutely. And so if you're in that, put a comment below. Tell us where you're at. Are you a flamboyant mess? Are you a free floor where you have no idea what you're doing? Do you have an idea, but there's no way for you to monitor it? Or are you so scheduled that not even Trump could break down that wall?
I think it's the other way around.
Oh, sorry. That was the other way. That's right. I tried to do a Trump joke, but
yeah. No, it'd be Reagan.
Oh
gosh. Well, we love y'all. Share, subscribe, get the message out. We love having these conversations. If there's anything you guys want to talk about, let us know. But next week, we're going to be talking about how delegation is a kingdom principle. So be on the lookout.
We're diving deeper. Excited about it.
See you guys later.
See y'all.